listening to the Currently Confused Show, a podcast where young adults share their experiences, talk about their biggest mistakes, and try and help their fellow peers in the process. My name is James Foster, and I'm a young entrepreneur striving for a successful career of my own. With this show, I hope to capture the process of discovering your passion, expanding your mindset, and any other helpful tools that can guide us through this confusing time we call our 20s. Thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for doing this with me. So how's your summer been going?
It's been really good. I haven't done much. I mean, yeah, I guess I have done some stuff. Hang out with all my friends. I work. Been on trips. Went to Hawaii and Oregon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was really fun. But nothing other than that, really.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who don't know you, like, kind of walk us through your life and how you got here and, you know, just where you grew up and things like that.
Okay, so if no one were to know me, when I was in high school, I cheered. I've been cheering since middle school.
Okay.
I played softball. I guess you could say, okay, so past the sports, I guess you could say I'm, like, outgoing. Like, I'm not afraid to, like, talk to people, you know?
Right.
So that's a good thing. What else is there? Oh, I love to dance. I like
really?
to dance,
So
yes.
what age did you pick that up? Did you do ballerina when you were little, or?
Well, okay, I actually did do ballet when I was little, and then I did drill team, and then I stopped and I got into softball, and then I remember when I was when 6th grade came up, I told my mom, I was like, I want to try out for cheer, and I remember she was like, what? You want to try out for cheer? Because, you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, on the softball, I'm this, you know, just tough softball player.
Right.
And so then I ended up trying out for cheer. And I loved it ever since. I've cheered all the way through high school, and now I'm a cheer coach, actually.
Wow.
So, yeah. But yeah, cheer's just something I love to do. And then cheer kind of got me into dancing a little bit, because it's a different thing. Like, in cheer, there is dancing, but you call it cheer dancing. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, I got into actual dancing, like hip-hop and all that stuff, and it's just something I love to do.
Have you gotten into that more recently, or like how long ago was that?
Probably. Okay, so for one, I've always loved dancing, like even in cheer, you know. But about a year ago, I found this place called like Napa, Spain in Carrollton. Mm-hmm. I was on Instagram, like going through all this stuff, and I was like, oh, I want to find some dance places. And so I found her place, and I went onto her Instagram, and she was having, you know, she has classes Monday through Thursday. And I was like, I'm going to go to one. So I went to one. And it was actually a choreographer that came from LA to do hip hop, and I did it. I loved it. And then a couple days later, you know, I saw she also does Hills classes. Okay. So I've never done Hills before, you know, but like I thought I could do. You know, I was like kind of confident.
Okay, what is Hills classes?
It's where you wear heels to the class.
Okay, heels class.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So literally about that, I was sitting at home one day, you know, like, it wasn't the best day, and I saw her post that, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go. Like, screw it. I'm going to go to this Hills class. I've never done Hills class before. And I went, and I actually, like, literally, it ended up being the best time of my life. I'm not
really?
even joking.
Isn't that more difficult than just, like, traditional dancing?
Yeah. You have heels on.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, I went in there. I wasn't very, you know, like, I'm always confident. Like, I didn't think I couldn't do it. But, you know, seeing all the other people, like, so we start at the beginning of the class. We start off going in like 2 lines, and they say freestyle across the floor in your heels. And so I see the first girls go, and they're just, you know, just like moving, getting into it. I'm like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Right. You know. So then I did it, and then she started teaching the actual choreo. Right. And so then I learned it, and they ended up like at the end, like. So at the end of the class, everybody films it. Like, there's a filming time, you know, for people who want to post it on Instagram and stuff. And she called me out to do it alone. She literally, she was literally like, okay. She stopped the class, and she was like, you, get out there and do it alone. Because apparently
you're a top performer.
Yeah. And so, like, when she said that, I was literally like, oh, my gosh. Like, because, you know, I told you, like, it wasn't the best day. Right. And it ended up her calling me out, telling me all this stuff. And I remember doing it, and all the girls in there, like, they just hype you up. Like, There's no one in there that's negative. And so it honestly, and like everybody after class came up to me, they were like, what's your Snapchat? What's your Instagram? Like, I made so many new friends, like, and I still talk to them because they're like, are y'all going to class this Tuesday? Are y'all going to class this Wednesday or whatever? But I'm so glad I went. It was amazing.
That's insane. So you kind of have like a natural gift at this style of dancing and things like that. And people recognize that and they appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that's insane. So going back to like when you were younger, I know you were very outgoing. You did all these different activities and all these different sports and things like that. Did you ever have dreams of becoming a dancer, like, professionally when you were older?
You know, it's actually so funny. When I was in middle school, like, you have to do those projects over a famous person, or just anybody. It could be a sports player or someone. But I chose Usher, because I wanted to be Usher's background dancer. That was always my dream. Usher's background dancer. I don't know why. I loved his music. What's that song? It's like... I don't even remember, but I remember I had a CD and I would put it in my room and just dance to it. But yeah, I wanted to be Usher's background dancer. That was my dream. So you've
always kind of had dreams of being a dancer.
Yeah, I guess dancing has always been something I loved, but I never really like took action in it really until after I graduated. That's when I actually started going to like classes and, you know, those what are they called, like prep classes, I guess. Okay. Like, just you literally go in and they have a dance already. They teach you it and you perform it. That's it.
Wow. So how do you like go to these classes and then transform that from a hobby into like a career? Like, how do you get picked up by like a company to have you as a backup dancer or something?
I mean, there's so many opportunities up at that studio because they do, like, there's people in Dallas, like, rappers. Like, there's a girl named Tay Money. You might not know her. You might. Okay, she's a rapper.
Don't know her.
And girls that just choreograph, they're, like, teachers. They get asked to be in the music video and stuff. And it always starts off with just, like, you know, underground rappers. And then it goes up, you know.
Right.
The lady who owns the studio, her name's Napa Spain. Or Napa Spain, something like that. She actually was in an Ariana Grande video. So, like, she has pictures up on the wall of, like, her and her video. And it's just, I think it's awesome because now she has her own studio in Dallas. And she's, you know, teaching these Hills classes. And I just think that's really cool.
That is cool. So is that what you would want to do, like, later on in life, is have your own studio and do teaching?
Actually, studio, I would love to open up. So, like I said, back to cheerleading. I would love to open up my own cheer gym. That's definitely a goal. That's what I'm hoping. And then, but I would also love to have, like, a dance studio with it. So, I'm not much into ballet and leaps and turns. Even though I should be. I should probably try and get into that because I love every other style of dance. But, like, right now, I work at a cheer gym. And we have cheer, and she teaches ballet, everything else. So, she teaches all those styles of dance. But, so, like, when I open up my own gym, I would love to have it just kind of be just straight cheer. But I would love to have, like, you know, a studio where choreographers can come in and, you know, like, they'd be like, oh, I'm teaching this Saturday or this. And they would just, like, kind of rent out their spot in my gym.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So that would be really cool just to, like, get people coming to my gym, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So what's something that, besides the fact that you're, like, a really talented dancer and you have this natural gift at it, what's something else that a lot of people wouldn't know about you just from, you know, looking at you on the surface?
That's such a hard question. I feel like an open book. Like,
really?
I really do. I feel like people know a lot about, like, I feel like people know most things about me, you know, like, I love dancing, I love cheerleading, I'm a softball player.
Let's talk about that, but, like, how do people know that? Like, do you post a lot about it on...
I do. Okay, so, like, in high school, like, I was on the softball team, so yes, I would post pictures, you know, like, in my uniform with my friends, or... and at bat on my story, you know, so stuff like that. And cheerleading, you know, pictures, and just the fact that I still coach at a gym, and, you know, like, it's actually cool working at a gym because I get to still tumble and, you know, do all that stuff. So, yeah, I'll, you know, throw a back tug or throw a tumbling skill every once in a while and film it and post it on my story.
Okay, so you're very open, like,
yeah,
on social media and things like that. Okay.
I do post a lot of things on social media.
That's cool. What's your opinion on social media? Because I know some people are like, they like it, some people don't like it.
I personally, there's different things. Like, I think social media can be, like, bad in ways for just anything. Like, it's social media. Like, even about just anything happening in the world, you always see it on social media first, and people will change up stories. Like, Twitter, for example, you see something, but it might not be the full story or stuff like that. But, like, Instagram. I like Instagram more just because, you know, like that's where I post pictures or post dancing videos, for example.
Right.
And but I like social media because it doesn't it doesn't affect me as much. Like, I'm not on it 24/7 of the day, but you know, if I take a cute picture or something, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll post it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's nothing I'm just sitting there scrolling through, like, over and over again.
Okay. Does it ever, like, I know a lot of people say that they don't like social media because they can see, like, models or they can see other people that are, like, influencers, and then they compare themselves, and they're like, wow, you know, she lives in LA and she is so slim, and it just makes me feel like shit. Do you ever, like, catch yourself falling into things like that, or?
It's kind of, that's kind of a hard question, because, like, you know, there's, like, a thing called Explore page on Instagram. Right. And so, like, I'll scroll through it, and what I love is, because, like, I love fashion, for example. I'm such, like, I love fashion, love going to thrift stores, love going anywhere just to get a certain outfit. And so, like, I'll be scrolling through my Explore page and, you know, see an Instagram model or see someone in an awesome outfit. And, like, I personally, some people are like, oh, you know, like, who cares about Instagram models? But, I mean, they got good fashion. Like, I literally, like, I don't look up to them like, oh, I want to be Instagram famous. Right. But, you know, seeing a nice outfit, I'm like, okay, let me recreate that. So, like, literally, I'll go look for that outfit and recreate it. Because, like, I love going on people's Instagrams and getting ideas for outfits. Definitely. Or just, and even Pinterest. Like, I love Pinterest. I have this literally thing where I save it as cute outfits, you know? I love getting ideas from other people.
Okay, cool. So you definitely use it for more of, like, a productive thing rather than like something that's going to tear you down. And okay, what's your advice for people that are like that, though, that just see Instagram and they're constantly just, like, comparing? Because I feel like everyone has, like, a natural, you know, I don't know, like, thing in their brain where they just want to compare.
It's insecurities,
Right.
It's like, I'm not saying I don't have any insecurities. I do, but, you know, when I go on Instagram, I don't ever think, like, oh, I wish I, like, obviously I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks amazing. She has a nice body, but I'm never like, I want to be her. Like, that's something I feel like that's good about myself is I'm not, like, I'm confident in myself, you know. I don't wish I was anybody else.
How did you get this confidence, though?
I don't know. I honestly don't know how to answer that. Like
what if someone, or have you ever gotten advice from someone about how to build your confidence or anything like that? Like, just anything you can think of on.
No, it really just comes, like, from yourself. Like, you just have to really like, there have been things about me where I used to be like thinking maybe my legs were too big or like stuff like that. But it, like, you really have to just learn to love yourself. And I feel like I definitely, like, after high school, I definitely, like, okay, so when I was in high school, I was not fat, like, not even near fat, you know, but I was a little bit more muscular and a little bit, had more weight on me.
But you had to be, because you were playing sports like softball and things like that. You were performing for a sport or an activity, right?
But then after I graduated, like, I stopped working out, all that stuff, so I guess I lost some muscle. And, I mean, that's not a bad thing, and it's not a great thing, you know, it just happened. And it was weird. After I graduated, I felt like I became a little bit more confident in myself. And
really,
it's a weird thing, because I hear so many stories about people graduating and then just, like, kind of roller coastering down a little
caving
bit.
in, right.
But I honestly felt like I just became more confident. I don't know why. Yeah, it's so weird.
I feel like after you graduate high school, there's a lot of maturing. I mean, you're out of this, like, I don't know, like, ecosystem where there's, you know, different classes of people. There's popular kids, there's nerdy kids, you know, there's all these different things, and you're just trying to fit in. And whenever you do find what you fit into, you're trying to be good at that and maintain that. And then when you get out and you're in college, it's like no one really gives a shit. They have a job they have to go to. Yeah. They're here to get this class done and leave. Like, they really don't care about you. No one really does. So you kind of have to start, like, spending more time with yourself. And I think it's part of maturing. Honestly.
It really is.
Things like that. Yeah. So I know you said you do dancing now, and that's, like, is that your primary thing that you like, that you want to work towards?
Yeah, well, nothing I want to work towards. Like, I don't want to, you know, like, okay, my dream used to be being a background dance for Usher, but that's not something that's, like, what I want to do now, but it is like a hobby, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Like, so Tuesdays or Wednesdays, like I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go take a dance class today, you know,
right.
and I'll just go and get my little workout in and
Definitely.
go home. Yeah,
that's cool. So what do you want to do, like, primarily?
Right out of college, I'm majoring in kinesiology, and right out of college, I want to go into teaching and coaching, but. Like, I love teaching. Like I said, I'm a coach. I'm a cheer coach now at a gym. Mm-hmm. And it would be more, when I went to, like, I would love to teach high school so I could teach cheerleading. Mm-hmm. But I would do that, for a couple years and save up some money and then open up a cheer gym. That's the dream, to, building clientele, like getting cheerleaders and be like, hey, come and take classes at my gym. Your coach. So that's definitely a dream. And then also kind of like a side dream is to open up a coffee shop.
Oh, is that your, like, backup plan? Like, if this didn't...
No, like, I want to do both.
Oh, okay.
So, the coffee shop would be based off... I have a husky. Her name's Gemma, and it would literally be based off of her. Mm-hmm. So, like, I thought about... I want it to be called Jim's Coffee House.
Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah,
I love that.
Because her name's Gemma, and, just, like, it would be dog-friendly, all that stuff. Because, like, I love my dog. I love her, and I was just like, I've never been to a coffee shop that's like dog friendly, has like maybe a little dog park outside, where your friends can go, hey, let's go meet up and get coffee in the morning, and they go and they get coffee, let their dogs play, and they just sit and chat.
That's great. I love that idea. Mm-hmm. So that's just something you want to do on the side on top of owning. Those are both really big dreams, though.
Yeah, it is. I want to be an entrepreneur, I guess you say. Like, I have so many big dreams, and I really want to make them happen.
Definitely.
And I'm hoping they do.
Yeah, so how do you, like, what are you doing right now? And this is going to be kind of a tough question, so, like, just heads up for you. But what are you doing in the next 6 months to help, like, lock in those dreams, like help make big steps, big milestones towards those dreams?
Okay, so the coffee shop is something that's going to have to be kind of on, there's nothing that can kind of prepare me for it. Mm-hmm. Like, I just have to, just open my own business. But I feel like I have a lot of opportunities for my gym because, like, right now I choreograph in, like, the Dallas area. So I've done choreographing for, like, 3 Frisco schools for cheerleaders. Like, hey, will you come choreograph the material for our tryouts? And I'm like, yes. And then, hey, will you come choreograph the material for our pep rally? And so I've done, like, 2 different pep rallies for different high schools. And I actually just got an offer from Royce City for choreographing their competition.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. So that's just kind of getting, like, my name out there. So if I were to open up my own gym one day, it's like, hey, like, this girl's choreographed for this school and that school. And I forgot who I was talking to about this the other day, but I'm wanting to try out for Dallas Cowboys cheerleader eventually. Oh, I don't know if I'll make it, but it's, like, worth a try. But say I were to make it, that's just something else that helps with, if I opened up my own gym one day, like, everyone's going to want to, like, they're like, oh, Taylor Hernandez, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, let's go to her gym.
Exactly.
It's kind of sad that, like, everything is about, just, like,
people your personal or your brand. And
like, there's all these superstars that have come out with all these perfumes and brands, and if you think about it, the only reason that people buy it is because they're famous,
Right, but at the same time, those people have to work towards that. And
they definitely do.
If you wanted to be like a Dallas cheerleader, you would have so much work to put into that.
For sure.
And you would definitely, like, you're earning your weight in what you deserve, more or less, for down the road.
And that would be a good thing to go towards because I know it sounds kind of stupid, and I forgot who I was talking to it about, but like, it builds your followers, I guess. But, like, the more people that the more people that will, like, know about my coffee shop or know about my gym. So it gives you a bigger opportunity for more people. And I think, like, later on down the road, like, it helps. So,
Definitely. So I know you were talking a lot about, like, being a Dallas cheerleader and stuff like that. I don't know if you ever did say were you born and raised here in Dallas?
Yeah, yes, I was born and raised in Dallas.
Gotcha. And do you want to stay here the rest of your life and build up your life here and do the coffee shop here and things like that?
Okay, that's such a hard question because I love to travel and go places, and I love the beach. I absolutely love the beach. I want to live on the beach. And so I would love to move to Florida. Like, Florida's a very realistic place to move. You know, I thought about California, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so expensive.
It really is.
And then I also thought about, you're going to think this is funny, but like Mexico, you know,
Really?
they're cheap and it's
Right.
beautiful, but I feel like there won't be as many opportunities for me out there. But like in Florida, if I went there, I feel like there would be some opportunities, but
Mm-hmm.
the most opportunities I feel like would be here in Dallas. But that's such a hard question because I really don't know. But like, I feel like at one point I need to experience living on the beach.
Definitely. Are you tired of living in Dallas at all? Like,
no, I love Dallas. I feel like we have a lot of things around here, like
mm-hmm.
to go do or go out to downtown, or even just being kind of in the middle of everything, like Austin or Houston, or, you know, even just being so close to Louisiana, like
Right.
just stuff. It's all kind of in the middle, but it like thinking about Rowlett, Texas, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not very much around. You know, I can drive
Right.
20 minutes to downtown, though, but the beach is just somewhere, like, I love. Like, I feel so, it's just, like, me. Like, when I'm on
Right.
the beach, I'm just so relaxed, and, like, everything's just perfect.
That's really cool. I know my aunt actually lived in Hawaii for a while, and yeah,
What?
that sounds like the dream,
I just got
right?
back from Hawaii.
I know, exactly. We'll have to talk about that in a second, too. But yeah, she used to live in Hawaii, and, you know, it seems like it'd be something that's just, like, amazing, you know, like, wake up every morning and look out your window, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. But the shocking reality was, it's actually not as great as you think. And she said, like, you can only go to the damn beach so much, and then there's just, you're vacuuming sand, you know, in your living room every day, all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, she said that there were, like, massive cockroaches all over the place, like it was infested. And then she said that the people in Hawaii, like if you're a tourist, they're all nice and friendly, but if you like live there, they're really not that nice, you know, like they don't really like people that are outsiders that move here and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I guess it's kind of like because they were native to that area, and now it's like you're acting like it's your home too, and I think that's just kind of weird for them.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was kind of weird how that seems like it would be the dream, you know, to live at a
Mm-hmm.
beach. But when she actually went and did it, it was like they immediately moved back. They were like, this is not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So would you ever want to have like just a vacation home, like in California
You know
or
what?
Florida or
I
something like
actually thought about that. I feel like, okay, if I were to open up my own businesses like we were talking
Mhm.
about and, you know, make money off that, then
Right.
yes. But, you know, if I do still do that and maybe not make as much money as I think, I have friends, like one of my best friends, we talked about, you know what, let's just live like in the same neighborhood and let's buy a beach house together, you know, go half and half on it.
Right,
you know?
totally.
And you can even like rent it out for Airbnb.
Exactly.
And like,
it's a good investment.
yeah, it really is.
Honestly.
So like that's definitely an idea.
Okay, that would be really cool.
Mhm.
I would love if I could stay at your beach house because that sounds like a great idea. So let me know whenever you have that,
Okay.
you know, in the works.
Mhm.
But going back to your trip to Hawaii, how was that?
Oh my gosh, it was literally a blast. I can't even tell you. Like,
So how long did you go for?
we went for, I think we were there for 6 nights. So basically a week. We were there for like 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
We got there and what's the first thing that we did? Obviously we went to the beach.
Obviously,
and then
right.
we started all of our excursions, like the things that we did on Monday. So we got there on a Saturday, started things on Monday. But we ended up like riding foolers, and it's called Kualua Mountain.
Okay.
And it's like where they filmed Jumanji, they filmed 50 First
Wow.
Dates, you know, all this stuff. So we rode foolers through that. Oh, and Jurassic Park, I have to mention that.
Yeah.
And then we took a boat, you know, and we saw sea turtles. We did
So
parasailing, a helicopter ride. So I feel like us being there, we like totally took advantage of doing
Mhm.
everything that we could. And I went surfing for the first time, and I've always wanted to surf. So, you know, like I'll surf on the back of a boat, you know,
Right.
like the wake, but like actually in the ocean, like catching a wave, it's amazing.
Really?
It really is.
Was it hard?
So usually, okay, like it was my first time, so I
Right.
got the board, and I remember my friend looked at me, and I was just going to the water, and she was like, "You're on your own now." I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" So I went out there, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like watching. You know, like something about me that I feel like helps so much is just watching people like do anything. Like if I watch them like see them do something, I feel like I can do it.
Right.
So I'm sitting there just on my board. I'm watching people catch waves, and I'm like, okay. So I tried a couple times, didn't succeed. And so I'm sitting there and I see this wave coming, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, do it. Like, stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're seeing all these people do it. You can do it too. So I start paddling, and I start to stand up on the board, and I feel the board like hook onto the wave, and it's just pulling me, and I stand up, and so I start surfing, and I remember I was so happy, like, oh my god, I caught the wave.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And did it take you all the way, like?
Yes, it's crazy. It's like literally you're like hooked onto the wave, and it takes you all the way to shore. I mean, there would be parts where I would stop and hop off because I don't want to have to paddle all the way back out there. But yeah, if you wanted to, it'd definitely take you all the way to shore.
That is so cool. So is this something that you want to learn more about too?
Oh, yes, definitely.
That'd be so cool to have a beach house.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, like talking about moving to the beach, like you said, just being able, I've been thinking about getting a surfboard, and, we live in Texas, so we have Corpus Christi, we have Galveston, South Padre, and it's like, can people surf there? And so I actually looked it up on YouTube, and there are surfing, like people do surf there.
Oh, wow.
So I was talking about like maybe buying a surfboard and going and surfing out there, like that'd be so fun.
That would be so cool. Mm-hmm. What about starting a surf/coffee shop?
Yeah,
like you could rent your board, have a cup of coffee before you go out on
that sounds like a really... See, like if I were to move to the beach, like that would be such a good idea. Yeah.
Would you like to move to the beach and like raise a family there and stuff like that? Yes. Like, do you want to have a family? We'll start with that. Yes,
I would love to have a family. I always dreamed about raising some beach babies, like like super blonde hair. Not, I'm not even going to say that. Like they don't even have to have blonde, but I feel like when I was in Hawaii, I would see these kids, you can tell they're locals, and like them just being on the front of the board while their mom or dad's on the back surfing.
That's so cool.
That's just like, imagine raising your kids there.
Such a different lifestyle.
It is.
From Texas and growing up here.
For sure. It's crazy, but I would definitely love to raise kids on the beach.
How many kids do you want to have someday?
Definitely, I would definitely want 2. 3 at the most. 3 would be max, and that's only because, like there's so many people who have so many kids, and like I love big families, that's fun, but like I want to be able to support them and pay for them. Like I want to get them their own car. I want to get them, have them pay for college. Like I want to get these things for them, and if you have so many kids, I feel like it's just going to be so hard to pay for all of them,
Sure.
So I'm more so looking out for them. So I definitely want 2, but if 3 happens, that's whatever. I'm just gonna have to save up some more money.
Exactly. No, definitely. I don't think you would be mad at all. I think you'd love it.
Yeah.
Have you always like dreamed of wanting to be like a mother? I know some girls like think about that a lot. Are you one of those people that like?
I do think about like having kids. Now I think about taking advantage of the time that I have to travel and hang out with my friends and do all these things before I start a family, like before I settle down.
But wouldn't it be so fun to go on trips like that with your family and like have your own family, like little Taylors running around?
Yes, that's exactly what I think about. I'm like, when I have kids, like I want them to just be so weird and like goofy, and it's exciting because it's like literally a person that is yourself. Like it's a little you, and I think about them playing sports. Like, I'll put them in every sport they want. And, that's when you let the kid decide, like, what they want to do with their life. Like, I was put in ballet, softball, soccer, basketball, all this stuff, cheer or drill team or whatever. And, my parents let me choose which one I wanted to do.
Right.
So, that's how I plan on raising my kids, too. Just putting them in everything they can and then picking the one that they love to do. And it's like, thinking about it excites me because I'm like, I can't wait for that.
So how old do you want to be when you, like, start having kids? Like, ideally. I know it's kinda, you
set an age, but, you never have, like, that perfect timing. I would like to start having kids, like, 26, maybe 27.
And you're 20 right now.
Yes, I'm 20. Okay. So, that gives me time to find a husband, experience life with my husband, do things with him. And then, get married, settle down. And the thing is also that I don't try and preach it, but, like, if someone asks, it's like, there is a right time and a wrong time to have a kid. I know you don't plan on anything, but Like, I want to be able to have money and be able to support a child that I have. I don't want to have to be struggling and worry about, can I pay for that? Can I pay for that? You know,
Sure.
I want to try and make it a good time to have a kid to be able to support them.
I know a lot of people our age just want to go out and have fun and, like, hook up or, you know, just go out and do whatever happens, you know? And, like, do you think that something like that, like, you should be like, yeah, you know, for those people, sure, go out and do that and live your best life in your 20s? Or do you think it should be a little more like, no, you need to be careful and really think about your future and things like that? Like, where do you lean with things on the spectrum? Everyone's a little different.
Yeah, it's hard to answer that because I feel like I'm the least judgmental person. Like, I don't want to judge anybody. So if there's a, you know, girl or a guy that likes to go out and have fun and, you know, meet these people and do whatever, you know, do it. Like, because you know, don't stop yourself from doing what you want to do, but be precautious, be protective, if you know what I mean. And, like, I'm different, though. I think about the future. I think about, you know, just, like, in advance. And I feel like I do make good decisions. You know, I never let something get the best of me. Like, every time before I do something, I always think about, okay, how is this going to affect me in the future, you know? But, like, that's just me. But, like I said...
But I think that's the smarter thing to do. I think you should be, like, advising people to follow this path that, you know, if they're not.
Yeah.
Because I think that is important, you know, like, when kids are in an accident, like, that's never, like, a pretty situation, but at the same time, it's reality, and, like, I don't know, that definitely would be really scary, you know, for sure. I could imagine how, if someone were put in that spot, that definitely would, like, change your whole life and change your dreams and things like that, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, a lot of responsibility falls on you and the choices you make, and I think you can go out and have fun, but you definitely have to have boundaries to an extent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So just with your life so far, I know, like, we're not very far into our lives. Like, we're not even a quarter of the way technically into our lives. What's something that someone has told you that was just, like, a bad piece of advice that you're just like, man, this is BS, you know, like, just the worst advice you've ever been given?
That's honestly kind of hard because I can't think of...
It is a tough one.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything that someone has told me, like, because I talk to certain people about, you know, like, I get advice from certain people. I don't, like, I know I said I'm an open book, but, you know, there are certain people that I'll ask for advice.
Definitely.
And I feel like most of it is good advice because I don't just talk to random people like, oh, what should I do? And it's just like, oh, just, you know, someone that's going to just say, screw it, you know, do whatever. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. So that's a hard question because I feel like I probably have at some point got some bad advice, but I wouldn't remember.
Can't think of it all.
Yeah.
What's, like, the best advice you've been given, like, in the past year?
I guess kind of, I don't know. That's so hard. There's so much that people have told me that's like that's hard to answer. That really is.
Was there any advice about, like, how... I know after high school, a lot of people ask us, like, oh, so what are you doing with the rest of your life? And that's such a heavy question. It's so easy to say, but how the hell do I know what I want to do with the rest of my life? Yeah. Like, that's so... I don't know. That's a lot to think about. But, like, has there been any advice that people have given you to help you kind of, like, figure that out? Or... even, like, relationship advice someone has given you that you thought was really good and, like, worth, you know, people knowing?
Now that you say something like that, definitely I would say some advice to give someone who wants to do something for the rest of their life. Like, yes, everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to make money, you know, but you need to do something that you love to do. Like, something that you're not going to wake up and, like, yeah, there might be a couple days where you're tired or whatever, but don't dread going to work for the rest of your life. Like, this is your life. And, like, living... My dad does the car business, you know, and he's a finance director, and going to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, getting home at 10 o'clock at night every single day, you know, like, it wears on him, and I can see it, you know, and it honestly makes me sad. And so, like, that's why I feel like I have some advice to tell people, like, just do something that you love to do. Like, I want to coach, and I would love to wake up every single day and coach, but don't, like, wear your body down doing something that makes you all this money, but like your happiness.
That's
like,
great.
I feel like happiness is such a big thing that you need to try and strive for instead of money.
Yeah, don't settle, just, or try and get the most money. Do something that's going to make you happy.
Exactly.
So with your dad, using him as the example, you've kind of seen him like do this job that he's not necessarily in love with. He's just kind of doing it to provide for your family and things like that. Yes. What was your family life like growing up? Like, was your mom always, do you have a stay-at-home mom, or does your mom work too?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so when we were younger, like when me and my brother were born, yes, my mom stayed at home with us, and my dad was in the car business. And what sucks is because when you first get into the car business, the hours are just insane. Like, you literally get home so late. So, like, yeah, my dad would be coming home late. And then eventually my mom got into real estate. She had a real estate license, so she started doing that. And my mom would take me. I remember going and showing houses with her. And and then my dad, wanted her to kind of stay at home with us again. So we did that. And then she became a teacher, or not a teacher, a librarian. So she worked at a elementary school and did that for a while. Then decided to stay home. And then now she actually works at a salon. But so about my dad, it's like he had those bad, like I said, at the beginning, it's always bad. Like they're always at work. And then he worked at this one place for a while where he'd go in at 8, but he'd get off at like 6. So like, that was good. He'd get home, and still have all that the rest of the night. But then now he's actually working at this other place where he's made more money than ever, but the hours are just, it sucks. And you can really tell when someone's starting to stress out because think about it, like that's all you're doing, your job, like.
Right.
And personally, like I know, like we make this, or my dad makes this money and we're able to get all these things that we want, but I would honestly rather him have happiness than...
Have you told him that before?
No, I really haven't. Like, my mom tells him the same thing, and so, like, he thinks about going into, like, eventually, getting another job or even retiring and going and trying something else for a change, but I think right now he's just gonna stick to it, like stick it out, and then try and figure out something else. But
that's rough. But it is reality, and that's what's the saddest about it, because like if it was just you, that would still be hard, but it's you, and you said you have a brother, right, Corbin?
Yes.
What was it like growing up with a brother? Because you have to tell me, I'm an only child. I have no clue what that was like.
Oh my gosh, any younger sister that grows up with a brother, it's like you're basically the toughest you can ever be. You have an older brother. They're going to freaking punch you. They're going to hit you. They're going to call you names. But, that's just what being a brother is about. And it's honestly made me the tough person I am today. Like I could say I'm a tough girl. I'm a strong girl.
Definitely.
And it's honestly because of my brother, because he made me that way.
So you appreciate all the hitting and beating he did on you when you're younger.
There are some times where I'm like, you don't like it, but you appreciate it at the end because, he made you tough. Right.
That's cool. Yeah. So does he look out for you with like things you're doing, or?
Yeah, he does. Sometimes, like, now it's a little kind of more on me. Like, he lets me deal with my own things, but there are certain times where things will happen and he'll want to be like the big brother that steps in, and I'm like, that's okay, awesome. You know what? You raised me. I got this. Like, you made me the tough person I am, so let me deal with it, okay?
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have this small, it's like I really like your family. It sounds like the perfect family, like dad off at work, mom's taking care of the kids, one girl, one boy. It's like the perfect family. But it is sad that, your dad has to do something he doesn't like. Did he get does he have a college degree?
Yeah, he does. He has a bachelor's in, I don't even know what it is in, honestly, but I don't think it has anything to do with what he does now.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I think most people are like that. Like they'll get like a psychology degree and then they end up being, something completely different. Exactly. Which is crazy. So what would your dad want to do though if he wasn't in this business?
You know what? I don't know. He's actually mentioned something like, he'll sit down and talk to me like, hey, why don't I retire and we can open up a body shop or something like that? That'd be awesome, right.
So he likes cars and things like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's, like, super into cars, like, the sports cars, but, like, he can work on things. Like, changing oil, doing anything on my truck. Right. It's all my dad. My dad does it all.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, he definitely knows about cars, but he just tries to think of, things I can do after I retire. And even me talking about opening up my own gym, he's like, you know what? Let me help you open up your own gym, and your mom can work at the front desk with you, and it just become
cool.
Kind of a family
business
thing. Exactly. And I was like, I'd be down for that.
You have to do that. Yeah, definitely. So with that idea, how are you going to get like the funding? How are you going to go into something that big, like especially right after college? Because you're saying you want to graduate with a kinesiology degree. But what are you going to do to get the funds to start something like that?
That's something that I think about all the time. I'm like, I have all these great ideas, but what am I going to do to start it?
Right.
Like, I have to have money. And I feel like that's a thing. I'm so grateful for my parents. I really am. Like, them giving me the opportunities, being able to, like I said, I'm going to be a teacher and coach at first. So yes, I will be able to save up some money, but having parents that support you, like, they really do support me on so much. And I feel like my dad has told me, like, like, I'll help you start up this business. I want to tell him, like, no, I got it. Right. But, eventually, if they want to go in the business with me, then yeah, like, they can help. But, my parents are just so, I feel like if anything, I don't want to have to fall back on anybody in all means. Right. But, like, if I had to, my parents are always going to be there for me. And that's, I feel like, is such a good opportunity. Feeling like it's sad because some people don't have those parents that are as supportive or even have as much money or this, but like my parents being so supportive as they are and have the other things to just support me, I'm so grateful for that.
That's really cool. Do you have any other like ventures that you want to start up that's like smaller that you could scale like now with your budget, like starting a making your own like homemade bracelets and selling them on Etsy, or like just anything like that? Do you have any small like business ideas that have been bouncing around in your head?
Not really. I haven't had anything. I have thought about, going to thrift stores or going and buying these purses that are on sale, like during Christmas time, like the Coach outlet, how they have 50% off purses, and then you sell them for more, basically making a profit on things. I've thought about stuff like that. And I've also thought about making, like my dad actually was talking to me about that the other day. Like, let me give you this money to go buy this stuff and let's sell it for more. Like, let's do that. And I'm like, I thought about it, I'm like, okay. Or I've also had this little idea of even making my own. I'm super into fashion. I love clothes. Like I talked to you about that earlier about Instagram, just seeing an outfit and like wanting to recreate it. And so I thought about like making my own line of just any type of clothing. Like it doesn't have to have like a logo or anything, but just a style. I want a certain style, maybe that is different from the rest.
Okay. So have you done anything with that? Have you thought of any like designs, or have you like customized any like shirts or dresses?
No, I haven't like done anything online, but I feel like my imagination, like my friends tell me all the time, like I'll buy something from the thrift store and I'm like, they're like, show me what you got. I'm like, I don't want to show you because you're going to think it's ugly. Right. And like, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show you because I haven't done what I want to do with it yet. Okay. So I'll show them, and every time they're just like, I don't see how you pick that. And like I would never think to pick that off the rack. And I'm like, you just have to do something with it. Like maybe a couple weeks ago, I went to a thrift store and I saw this suit, and it was a granny skirt, goes all the way down to your ankles, super big on my waist. Mm-hmm. I took it into a tailor, had him tighten it up, and I took the skirt and I had them cut it into a, like a tight fit short skirt. Uh-huh. So I now I have like this super cute suit. It's just like, whenever I see things on hangers, I have these ideas like, oh, I can turn it into this, and then I'll turn it into it.
That's a talent, Taylor. Yeah. You're a visionary. You can see something, and you have this fully blown like picture painted in your head, but other people just see a blank canvas. And so you go and you start, painting each stroke, and the next thing you know, you created this picture of what you had in your head, and people are like, wow, I couldn't see it before. It was just a blank canvas. Yeah, that's really cool. So you definitely have to capitalize on something like that. Mm-hmm. Like, since that is something that's unique, not everyone has that trait. But I think that would be awesome. I don't know, why don't you start up your own clothing company and do that until you make some money? And
I don't know. It's like, I feel like I could definitely, like I just said, go to a thrift store,
right.
alter things and then sell it. I feel like I could do that, but I want to, like, if I did do something like that, I'd want my own brand. I'd want to design. I'd want to, like, recreate a whole outfit, you know?
Right.
And it's something I would definitely have to look into. I feel like it'd be hard work.
Everything's going to be hard work, though. Like, even
true.
The thing that you're trying to start, which is, like, owning your own, like, cheer facility, is it safe to call that?
Yes.
That's a huge venture because you're going to have to get, like, an actual building for that, you know? Whereas this, you could kind of, you know, order things online, go and have them customized locally, and then, like, ship them out of your garage. It's a lot more doable compared to, like, you know, this other venture you have, which I do think is definitely, like, something that you should pursue. But for right now, I think you should totally do something like this where you do your own clothing line. I think that'd be awesome.
That would be super cool.
Do your friends, like, after you do customize it, are they like, wow, like, I wish I had one of those in my closet? Or
I mean, they've never actually, like, said that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, who knows? You could I could ask them. But, like, I'll show them, and they're just like, oh, my gosh, like, I can't believe that. I wish I had a picture that showed the before and after.
Right.
But, yeah, I feel like my style's always very different from my friends. It's, you know, they all have good styles, but I feel like I'm maybe a little bit more on the tomboy side, or this, like, it's actually very funny, you know, my friends, I have these camo pants, I'll put on my camo pants, and I'll have, you know, just, like, a big t-shirt on with my bands, and they're like, they'll say, you look like a lesbian or something, and I'm like, I don't care, this is my style, like,
there you go.
I'm just like, that's you, this is me.
So what about people that are, like, concerned of what others think of them or their style? Like, obviously these are your friends telling you, but, like, when you walk down the street or you're going to the mall, like, does it ever get in your head, like, oh, like, I'm not that confident in what I'm wearing, or, like, people are gonna think I'm weird because I'm wearing this?
No, that's just another thing. No, not really. Like, anything that I wear that I like, I'll look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I love, like, you know, I'll look ratchet sometimes and go in some Nike shorts and a big t-shirt, and I'll be like, oh, I look a little bit ratchet, but, like, anytime I dress up in an outfit and I go out and I'm confident in what I look like, I don't ever think of, like, what other people think of me. I'm like, if they think this is weird, then sorry for you, because this outfit is cute.
I don't know how you can have that mindset, though, because, like, most people are so, like, the opposite. They're so, like, just worried of other people around them and what they think. But do you think it's, since you're so open to begin with, you're like, I don't care, like, no one's gonna find anything about me that's, you know, embarrassing, because I'm just all out there to begin with?
Yeah, it's weird, like, I don't ever get embarrassed really of things I do. Like,
really,
I'm just do what I want. If people say I'm weird or people this, I'm like, okay, I don't care at this point. But there are something, like, I could say I don't ever get really nervous, like, being a cheerleader and being in front of crowds. Like, I love it. I love being in front of the crowds. But what's funny is, like, being on this show, I got nervous because, you know, you're talking about certain things. Definitely. And I'm like, okay, it's weird what things make me nervous and what things don't. Like, it's weird.
That's cool, though. I do like it, though. Like, you have such a different personality than I feel like most people. That's why I want to talk about, you know, how people can learn from you and things like that. Because I feel like you have a very positive vibe. You have a lot of things going for you, and you're so creative and things like that. I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
So what's something that you wish you knew more about that you currently don't know a lot about? I know a lot of people have said, like, finances. Like, a lot of people don't know how to use credit cards and, you know, how to get a mortgage, things like that.
Yeah.
But, like, is that something you feel like you struggle with, or is there, like, something else that you feel like you wish you knew more about but you just don't?
I feel like there are things, like, definitely things that I do not know about that I do want to know. You mentioning, like, finances and stuff. I don't, like, you know, there's not anything that I, like, make payments on right now or anything, so I don't do that. But I feel like I have been, you know, explained about it, and, like, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard. So it's nothing that I, like, think about, like, oh my god, I need to know about these things. Like, I feel like when it comes, like, I'll eventually learn about it. Like, it's not that hard. But there's a lot of things that I want to learn about, just about anything. Like, it just be so random, like, the body, just stuff like that, because you hear about, or, like, even history, or just things like, I know a lot of people don't like school, but personally, like, majoring in kinesiology, I'm so excited to go to school and just learn about those things. I really am. Like, like I said, this comes back to doing something you love to do. When you love to do something, you're gonna want to learn about it, you know? Like, majoring in kinesiology, just about health and stuff. Like, it goes into physical therapy, or you can do, like I said, cheer. You can do football. You can do anything. Sports management. You're gonna want to learn about it. It's gonna excite you. So.
Right, and you know what you want to do mainly because, like, you kind of grew up trying all these different things, and so, like, over the years, like you were saying with how you want to raise your kids, you've dialed in more or less what you want to do, and so now when you're in college, you at least can, like, go into something. And I know kinesiology, it's still a pretty broad major, right? Like, you can really, like, branch off and do a lot of different things, but do you think that that's a safe route to go? Like, would you recommend people that are in college to just choose very broad majors like business or things like that?
Business is definitely a very, what's it called? I'm not going to say basic, but like, people major in business because you can go into so many different things with it. Right. But see, like me, my major at first was education because I thought I wanted to do teaching and coaching at first. But then I thought about me opening up my own gym eventually, and like majoring in education is so set on education. Like, that's not why I wanted, you know, like, I don't want to teach like for the rest of my life. That's not what I want to do. So I decided, you know, like, I talked to my advisors and I decided that's not what I want to major in because that's for someone who's just like, you know, like, I want to teach, I want to be a professor, stuff like that. And that's just not me. So
You're just not passionate about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought I would just do something like kinesiology that goes into anything that I want to do, you know? Gotcha.
That's still like health and body and things like that related. Okay. Yeah. So in those aspects, is there like something that you wish you knew more about? Like the muscle groups, bones, like...
Yeah, everything like that. Just bones, muscles, like how your body reacts to certain things. Like, I'm super, you know, like, I like working out and I try and eat right for the most part. You know, there will be times where I will and then times where I'll cheat. But I would love to know more about that. Just like calorie intake and what certain foods do to your body, you know, like there's some things that make you, you know, just aren't good for your body. And I want to learn about that. Like, you know, there's so many people who are like dairy free or, you know, vegan or vegetarian. And I honestly want to learn more about that of like, why? Like, why are you doing
why does the body not like dairy or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know a lot of people go vegetarian because, like, you know, for the animals, and I totally support that. Me, I love meat, and it sucks. I try and cut it out as much as I can, but I love meat. I wish I could go vegetarian because it's such a great thing, you know, but hopefully maybe one day I can lead to that. But for now, I love meat. I'm sorry.
Same, honestly. I'm on board with that. But no, I think that's great. I think with your major specifically and with learning about the body, like, that is so fascinating. There is so many different things you can learn, and just even knowing more about your body, or even if you were doing things like, oh my god, that beeping is going to drive me crazy. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that out. What can you do? We're a low budget set, honestly. So, but no, honestly, I think that's really cool that you have dialed in more or less what you want to do, and like you're learning about the body and things like that. I'm sorry, it just threw me off like so bad. I can't even think about anything else now. I'm just like, God, gotta be all professional here, and you know the beeping's going on. What else do I want to talk to you about, Taylor? I don't know, I want people to like learn, you know, and like, because everyone is so confused when we're in our 20s, you know. That's why I started this, calling it Currently Confused, because 9 out of 10 people I talk to just are so lost with life and how to navigate it and things like that. So, but it sounds like you're on a track where more or less you know what you want to do and things like that, and that's awesome, you know. Like, I think a lot of people can learn from things that you're doing, and you know.
All I have to say is, you know, like, I have friends that are so confused on what they want to do, and I'm just like, do something that you're passionate about. I can only preach that so much. Like, you want to be happy for your life. You don't want to have to think about like, yeah, like, you don't want to have to think about money all the time. Like,
no, I know.
How much money you're making. Like, be happy. Like I said, you know, teachers don't make that much money at all. But,
No.
you know, they're comfortable and they have summers off and they still can enjoy their life. So all I have to say for those people that are currently confused right now, just do something that you love and don't just like, yeah, just do something that you love.
I know, and it does sound so cliche. Everyone's going to say, you know, do what you're passionate about. But I think something I want to ask you is for people who, like our friend Drew, for example, he's got the energy. I love Drew. I absolutely love that guy. But he's a little currently confused on more or less what he's passionate about. Mm-hmm. You know, so for people who don't know what they're passionate about, how do you find that?
That's such a hard question. That's
really is. I know.
That's really for someone who, for themselves, like, you just have to feel what you're passionate about. Like so many of our friends do soccer, you know? And, like, that's what they're passionate about. So, you know, you can tell them all to be soccer coaches or do this or do that. But even if you don't have to be, like, die hard passionate for it. But just don't do anything that's going to make you stress out for the rest of your life. That's not what you want at all. Okay. But, like, Drew, for example, like what he's doing now, you know, he doesn't hate it, but he doesn't love it. You know, he's just kind of just chilling. Yeah, exactly. So that's something he needs to figure out, like, what he wants to do inside of him. And, you know, like, I've talked to him about it. Like, what are you going to want to do? And, you know, like you said, he doesn't know at this point. And that's just something that he's probably going to have to figure out. Like, just
by doing a bunch of other things.
Yeah, like, just trying to feel, like, get some feelings for everything, you know?
So a lot of people right now that are our age, I feel like most people, like, I can safely say most of us are pretty damn broke. Right? Like, we all want to travel. We all want to, you know, have a beach house. But we're all pretty damn broke. And I think something that a lot of people don't take advantage of, which is something that we have probably more of right now than we will ever have for the rest of our life, which is time. And I feel like Drew works a job where he is working, like, 5 or 6 days a week. And he, like, starts at 7 and gets off at 7. Yes. And it's like, honestly, don't do that to yourself. Especially if you don't know what you want to do. Go and get a part-time job where you work 2 or 3 days a week. And you won't have as much money. Just make sure you have enough to pay your car insurance, whatever you have to pay, phone bill, whatever. And then spend other, you know, time in your day doing other things, like watching YouTube videos of people who are, I don't know, models or male models, and, you know, see if that's an industry you want to get into, or, you know, do, like, a side hobby, like a recreational sport, like soccer or baseball or something like that, and see if you like that. But definitely, like, take advantage of your time right now and don't focus on money. I know, like, since we're young, that's what we want the most of. Yeah. But I think it's better to work towards your strengths than to work for your weaknesses. Like, if you naturally have a lot of time, utilize that rather than, like, striving for more money that you will get eventually. Like, I hardly know anyone that's a millionaire at the age of 20, and, like, there's not that many of them. Yeah, they're out there and good for them, but I mean, without having someone here that I can interview and talk to, I'm sure they had to sacrifice a lot. And, you know, to be in your 20s and have as much time as we do now, to just let it go to waste and stuff like that. Exactly. It's definitely, like, it's pretty sad.
Like, I even talked to Drew today about it. I was like, you literally went into work this morning at 7, 8, and you got off at 7, and now you're coming here, and I'm like, how do you have the energy to do that? And he's just like, well, you know, I don't get much sleep anyways. And I'm like, I need sleep.
I know, but you can't do that to yourself. It's not healthy. It's not, like, there's a lot of things, and your health is super important too, because there's no point in anything if you're not healthy. So, yeah, for sure. I definitely think that that's something that I just wanted to say, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't realize, you know, how much of a blessing it is that we have so much time right now. Yeah. You know, so, I don't know.
Like, we need to take advantage of it, for real.
Right, definitely. Yeah. But you do have moments and times where you can go on fun trips and things like that. Do you have anything planned this year that you're looking forward to?
Actually, me and a couple friends were talking about going to Costa Rica.
Okay.
That would be so fun. I've looked up plane tickets, like $300 round trip. So, like, I try and travel as much as I can. Like, especially, like, going to school, I do all online. The reason I do that is so I have time to do these things. Because, like, you know,
with time,
there's two different experiences. There's a college experience where I can be off at school and live the college life and party every day and, you know, do all that stuff. Or I could be at home. I could be working, you know, part-time, making some money, and then travel. And me, personally, I think I chose the traveling because I'm not, like, I don't like to get drunk every single night and do all this stuff in a college town. I just feel like the traveling is just more me. Like, that's just what I want to do. I feel like that's more of an experience, you know, see the world. Right.
So why do you want to travel so much and see the world? There's that fucking beeping again, I swear. I'm telling you, it throws you off, doesn't it? Like, you're trying to think of something.
Traveling is such a big deal to me. I could talk about this all night. Like, we're born on this earth. Like, you want to be able to see the world. Like, see the place that you are born on, you know? And I want to learn about so many cultures, I just want to see so many places. Like, that's just something that you need to educate yourself with. It's just different people. Like, you don't want to be stuck in America, you know, and like just only know this. Like, I've looked into volunteering at certain places. Like, I can volunteer in Costa Rica, I can volunteer in Thailand, and you can work with elephants or lions or monkeys.
That'd be so cool.
And like, I've looked at people who have done those things and like just the pictures they post, like the experience that they get, like learning the cultures and meeting so many different people. Like, that's what I want to put my life towards, is like learning, you know? Right.
That is really cool. That's so cool. Are you nervous for anything like that? Like, I know a buddy of mine went to Mexico, and like the first day he was there, he got his car busted into and like everything stolen. And so, yeah, the rest of his like 12-day trip, he had no clothes, no like anything like that. So does it make you nervous to travel to the places like...
That's a good question, because I've thought about it. And like, oh my gosh, like, you hear about all these stories about like Dominican Republic and stuff, people, like, just families, you know, getting
That's so sad,
killed for no reason. And personally, it doesn't scare me. Cause like, my parents tell me all the time, I'll tell them, I'm going out to Dallas tonight, love you, bye. You know, I'm going to Deep Ellum. And like, you know, like literally, when was it, 2 nights ago, Saturday night, I told them I was going to Deep Ellum, and they were like, you know, 2 people just got killed in Dallas tonight, like, be careful. And I'm like, that's crazy, but like, it doesn't scare me because, you know, I don't ever hold back from anything. Like, I don't ever say, oh, I'm not going to do that because I might die or I might get shot. Like, that's just not me. Like, I'm going to do it. Like, however I'm going to die is already planned. It's already... It's
out of your control,
you know, God already knows how I'm going to die. So, like, I'm just going to do me, do what I want to do, you know? Like, there's just so many times, like, being in Oregon, my dad's deathly afraid of heights. Like, they scare him, and, you know, I walk up to the edge, and I lean over, and he just gets so mad. Like, he had to walk down the mountain because he was so stressed out. Like, he truly started having an anxiety attack.
Wow.
And I know. And I was like, I just can't live life that way. Like, I'm going to do everything I can without thinking of the worst. I always think of the best that'll happen. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's great. So what is your biggest fear, though?
That's such a hard question because, you know, like, when people ask me that, I'm always like, I don't have fears, you know.
Well, it could be something basic like snakes or spiders.
Yeah. And it used to be elevators. I used to be so deathly afraid of elevators. Really? Yes, they used to freak me out. Oh my gosh.
That's so unique. I've never heard that before.
Honestly, what is it? Maybe like a plane crash or something.
Really? Are you afraid to like ride in planes? Like, does it spook you? Like them taking off and landing?
I was always afraid. Like I said, I love the ocean, but thinking about flying over the ocean, I'm like, oh my god! Like, what if we crashed and we're just never?
But you went to Hawaii though, right?
I know. So that was a 5-hour plane ride over the ocean. Right. That's the first time I've done that, and it wasn't anything different. You know.
Oh, okay.
I was like, not nervous, but, I got on there. I was like, this is the longest plane ride I've been on. Like, I'm about to fly over 5 hours of ocean.
Sure.
Because we flew from Dallas to LA and then from LA to Hawaii.
Right.
But when I was on the plane, I was like, okay, this is nothing. This is just like normal.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I know you mentioned LA just a second ago. And I know you said you wouldn't want to live there because it's expensive, but they do have a lot of, like, dance things and, like, actors and stuff like that. So have you thought about that? Didn't you? I thought I saw you post something about, like, going to a college or something in California.
Yes. Okay, so I've been to San Diego. I went on a trip there. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love San Diego. Like, I would live there in a heartbeat. And so I applied for college there. Got accepted, actually, to USD.
Wow.
So it's funny. They sent me a video, and it's just like, you're tomorrow, you got accepted.
Wow.
And all this stuff. And so I was super excited, but I started looking into the tuition, and it's just insane. Like, I don't even want to go there anymore because it's so expensive,
Yeah.
So I just think of, I can take as many trips there as I want,
Sure.
So I was actually wanting to go in September. Just to take a trip. Like, like I said, I just love traveling as much as I can, just to get away. And I was wanting to go with one of my friends, Carlin. That's who the girl I went with last time. Mm-hmm. And so I asked her if she wanted to go again, and we would drive to LA, and she would drop me off at the dance classes. That's a good example, yeah.
Right.
So, because there's so many, you have Playground, you have Millennium, and there's all these amazing dancers, like, back to Instagram. I follow them all on Instagram because I want to see their posts. They're so good. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to go take their dance classes. So that's definitely something I've thought about going there and taking their classes. And then, just as a trip, though.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to do something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. So going back to the fears now, though, you don't have a specific fear that you're just... completely.
Not, honestly, like, I'm really trying to think, and I really just I'm a go with the flow person. I just do whatever, like, if we're on this super high cliff and someone's like, jump off of it, I'll be like, okay. Like,
really?
I'll sit there and I'll think about it, like, I'm scared for sure, but I'll do it, like, and, like, you saying something about snakes, like, you could be afraid of snakes. I'm such an animal person. I love insects. I love everything.
Really?
And like, I could say I'm just not scared of any animals. Like, if someone were to give me... My favorite animal is a lion. And if someone were to give me the opportunity to get in a cage with a lion, I would not hesitate one bit. I would get in that cage in a heartbeat.
Are you serious?
Yes. Like,
even if you, like, were going to die?
Even if there's a 50-50 chance of dying, I would get in it in a heartbeat.
What if there's, like, a 90-10% chance of you dying? Would you...
I would get in it.
You'd still do it just for the experience?
I would have to.
The last experience?
Literally. I used to say when I was a kid, it's going to sound so stupid, but when I was younger, I said the way I wanted to die is being eaten by a hungry lion, because if they needed to eat, gosh. I would want to be eaten. But
that is so nice, though. That's like the nicest way.
But now I don't want to be torn to shreds by a lion, but I wanted to feed a hungry lion with my body. That's
very sweet of you, though, that you were like, when you were younger, that's actually a thought. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, though. That is kind of crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm trying to think, is there anything else you want to, like, mention or anything you want to talk about for, just people to know? Anything specific?
I feel like we've covered a lot of things about just, like, doing what makes you happy and...
utilizing your time.
And like, decision-making. Like, have fun, do stuff, but, like, also keep in mind, think about how it can affect you in the future. But other than that, just be happy. Mm-hmm. Really. Don't worry. I
know you're like a very like go with the flow, open book, like you were saying. How far in advance do you plan your life? I know you have like some plans, like you want to open up a cheer thing and, the coffee shop. But like further than that, do you have every little thing planned out? A little bit of planning? Or...
I'm pretty sure I have a lot of things planned out. And just because of the kind of person I am, I'm very organized. I want to have like plans, but like I am also spontaneous. So there will be times where it's like, you'll be in bed at 11 or 12 o'clock at night and someone's like, hey, let's go do this. Let's be spontaneous. I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
Sure.
But, like, plans-wise for my life, I feel like I have most of it planned out. And, like, I do have backup plans, like, things in mind. But most of it is planned out.
Do you recommend people kind of having plans for their life?
It would be great to have a plan, have something in mind that you want to do, but, not everyone's like that. Not everybody knows what they want to do, but it is good to just, test the waters and try different things and think about things that you want to do to help you make those decisions for what you want to do in life. You don't want to, there's so many people who are like, I don't know what I want to do right now. I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. Like college-wise, like being at a community college for 2 years. Like, I don't know where I want to go after this year. I'm like, stay at community college again and think about it. What you want to do, save money. It's okay to just not know at a certain point what you want to do. But I promise you, eventually it will come to you and you will know what you want to do in life.
When do you think you should, like, kind of take things a little more serious and be like, okay, hey, the shot clock timer's counting down. It's time to be decisive and make a decision. Like, do you think you should kind of start thinking more or less like that by the time you're 23, 25?
Definitely, like, if you're in college and you are doing, like, full 4 years straight, towards the end, you have to know what you're majoring in, like, it comes to a point, people change their majors all the time, but it comes to a point where, like, okay, you need to major in something. You can't just keep wasting this money on stuff. But, so, most people figure that out, I feel like, but figuring out what you want to do, like, in Hawaii, there was a lady we were with, Courtney's mom. Her name is Jody.
Okay.
And, she did, I don't know what she did before, but, she's over the age of 40. Okay.
Okay.
And she just became a lawyer probably 2 years ago. I think it was a little bit ago, but
wow, okay.
and that's something she loves. She explained that she loves doing it. She's like, I know I talk about it and it seems like I don't like it, but she was like, I love it, And even though she's, past 40 years old, she's now doing something that she loves. And so for you, there really isn't a set time, like you always want, like me, like I said, personally, I'd want to know what I want to do by the time I'm like about to start my life, before I have kids. You want to know that. But don't be too stressed out about it because, like I said, this lady, now she's doing something she loves to do. And
so you will eventually just piece things together and find out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to say do something you still don't love to do but for the time being, but I mean, if it comes down to it, you'll eventually just end up doing something you want to do.
Definitely.
For sure. Like I said, my dad doesn't like what he does now, but maybe he can open up his own body shop one day and, he'll be happy. But,
he'll get to it. Yeah, definitely. I hope he does.
Yeah, me
That'd
too.
That'd be really cool. Well, before you go, I want to play a quick game with you. Okay. This is Would You Rather. So I'll draw one and ask you a question, and then you can draw one and ask me, and we'll just kind of go back and forth.
Okay.
So we'll start this off. Would you rather never leave the country or leave and be able to never come back?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard.
I know, because you want to travel, but then
yeah,
you have to...
Honestly, probably leave and never come back.
Really? Where would you leave and, like, live primarily?
I mean, think about how many other places there are that you could go to. Like, I personally want to go to Greece so bad. That's
same.
So you could go there, and then you just have so many other options. Like, I even mentioned I want to live in Mexico. I could go live in Mexico.
There you go. Okay, so that seems like a pretty easy one for you. That makes sense. All right, you can draw one now.
Okay. Would you rather have a bell go off every time you're horny or never get horny?
This is the worst one. I think I would rather have a bell go off. I would just play it off like, oh, sorry, my phone went off and I forgot to turn off the ringer or something like that. But that's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I feel like that's an easy question.
Yeah. Okay. So next one. Would you rather wear someone else's dirty underwear or use their toothbrush? Oh, that is a rough one. Think of the grossest person, like the dirtiest.
Honestly, maybe wear someone else's dirty underwear.
I think
I feel like, just because, like, your mouth is, like, in your body, you know?
You're ingesting that versus you can just wash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather spend the day wearing wet socks or spend the day with a popcorn kernel stuck in your tooth?
Oh, gosh. This one's hard. I think I've been asked this before, but I can't remember what I said. I think I'm gonna go with the wet socks, just because it's
wet
not.
Socks?
It's not as
What?
noticeable. I feel like I'd be so embarrassed with everyone like staring at me, and I have this.
Yeah, I feel like I could rock
Really?
a popcorn
Just
kernel
go
on my
with it.
tooth. Wet socks would be so uncomfortable.
That is pretty gross. I feel like I don't know. They're both horrible. Would you rather be born with an elephant trunk or a giraffe neck?
Elephant trunk.
I was gonna say, yeah. For me, that's easy. Like, how would you get through every single doorway?
Yeah.
And what does that even do with you? It's not like you're gonna eat trees or something.
Yeah.
Like, another thing that I think Caden mentioned that was really funny about that was, how would you even feed yourself? You'd have these tiny little arms, and your neck would be like way up there.
That's so true.
I never even thought about that, but yeah.
True. You'd have to put it in a bowl and like back up and like
exactly.
Your head down and try and get in it.
Oh, that would be horrible. An elephant trunk's like a third arm or something, and that's kind of cool.
And you can like dip your nose in water and spray people.
Exactly. That's cool. All right, I think it's your turn.
Okay. Would you rather have 500 tarantulas crawling in your house or 1,000 crickets jumping around in your room?
Oh my god. That one's so hard because my biggest fear is insects. I hate bugs. Ladybugs, butterflies, like, I don't care. I hate them.
Oh my god.
Cockroaches are the devil to me.
Okay,
Like,
cockroaches, that's different.
those are so scary. Oh my god, I can't even talk about those. I would just look at it like it's a numbers game. If there's 1,000, that's twice as hard to get out versus 500. Plus, they're a little bit bigger, so I think I would do the 500 tarantulas.
500 tarantulas.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Let's see here. Would you rather have a 1-minute conversation with your past self or your future self?
Ooh, future self.
Really?
Future self.
Just to get to know like what you're up to in the future?
Yeah, like I would just... Yeah, I think future. Because, you know, you think about your past and you're like, you kind of have it figured out. Like, because you grew as a person, but you'd want to learn about your future self. Like, how did I get through these things? You know,
Right.
you'd want to ask yourself.
That's cool. Do you think it would change your future, though? Like, if you knew?
Ooh, it probably would. I feel like talking to your future self, like, you'd want to do things to try and, like, lead up to that, maybe. So, yeah, I probably would.
That's cool. I think I would probably do the same thing. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
If you could reincarnate yourself, would you rather come back as a human or an animal?
Oh.
It's so hard.
I know. I would be so curious to be what it's like to live as a dog.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want to know, like, what's going on with them and things like that. I think that'd be really cool. But I think I would be a human again.
Yeah.
Just to have a longer life.
Yeah, longer life, exactly.
Yeah. Would you rather be stranded on an island alone or with the person you hate the most?
Alone, for sure.
Really?
Yes, that would be awesome, I feel like.
But you would get so lonely, it would almost, like, ruin it, you know? Like, just...
That is true, but, you know, I don't, and it's weird, because I don't really, like, genuinely hate anyone, you know, like, I just don't hate anyone.
Strongly dislike or something like that.
But then again, I think about, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I would choose someone I hate. Because then you could just kind of avoid each other. Maybe, like, you stay on this side of the island, I'll stay on that side of the island.
There you go. At least it gives you someone to interact with.
But then again, you think, because I always like alone time. Like, I like being alone sometimes. But then again, if you think about it being stranded on an island, you might have to have someone.
Yeah, exactly. That would get kind of crazy. Well, that's all the questions. Thanks for coming on the show and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was awesome. We'll definitely have to do like an update episode where you come back and tell us a little more. Yeah, for
sure. Maybe I'll be living in Mexico by then.
Yeah, or you can tell us about your trip to Costa Rica or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Sure.
Well, thanks again.